Power to the truth. This is Margo. This is Monday, June 3rd, 2019, 6:49 p.m. Pacific Time, United States of America. So this is going to be a short earthquake report tonight. Before we get started into that, I'll just show the Oroville lake level at the Oroville Dam in California. As of the 6 o'clock reading, the lake level is at 894.62 feet, and it is dropping gradually. They've increased the outflow at the Hyatt power plant, and the inflow is fluctuating from the highest today has been 12,374 CFS. That was at the 2 o'clock reading this afternoon, and then it's been between 9550 is what it was at 6 o'clock. That was the inflow. So it's going down gradually. They have not used the spillway yet, so I don't know what the plan is at this point. So there's that little update. Alright, so we have USGS pulled up here for all magnitudes for the last 24 hours, and we're showing 374 earthquakes worldwide. Of those, 31 are 2.5 magnitude or higher. So let's see what's about to come off the map. This one is at 7:34. It's a 3.7 in Chile, near Constitucion, Chile, at 7:34 last night. So let's go ahead and start down here. So that was a 3.7. I just called that one out. All these times I'm going to be saying are Pacific time because that's my time zone. Next is a 4.8 near Hacienda La Calera, Chile, at 9:22 last night. Then a 5.2 near Iquique, Chile, at 1:42 this morning. Now coming across on the other side of the Pacific, we have two just to the north of New Zealand. We have the first one was a 4.6 near Whakatane. That was the reporting station, but both of these are in the ocean. This one happened at 8:08 last night, 266 kilometers deep. And then a 5.4 near Opotiki, also in the ocean, New Zealand, at 10:24 this morning. So those didn't cause any damage. They weren't big enough, and plus they were in the ocean, and the water acts as a buffer. Next was this 5.0 near Ohonua, Tonga. This came in tonight at 6:15 p.m. Then coming on around in Indonesia, 5.2 near Samlaki at 11:26 last night, 188 kilometers deep. Here's a 4.5 near Kota Ternate at 7:44 last night. Here's another one off the coast of Sumatra. There's actually two here. It looks like they're stacked up. The first one is a 5.8 near Sibolga, Indonesia at 10:57 last night. And then a 5.5 at the same place at 11:04 last night. So just 7 minutes apart, those two came in the ocean there. Okay, we're going to come on up to Japan next. These are in the ocean, a 4.3 near Iwaki at 10:16 this morning, and a 3.9 near Kushiro at 4:47 this afternoon. And that's all of the international earthquakes. Now let's go to all magnitudes. Look at Hawaii next. We've got 8 here today. 2.3, 2.3, 2.1, all at Pahala. 2.0, Mauna Loa. 1.9, Kilauea. 1.9 Kilauea. 2.2 Pahala. And a 2.4 Kilauea. So those are showing movement. Now in the Caribbean, we have 17 here today. Let's see what the largest ones are. We've got 8 that are 2.5 magnitude or higher. And they're all in the ocean around Puerto Rico. And remember, we're starting into hurricane season. So I'll just call these off: 2.9, 2.8, 3.0, 2.8, 2.8, 3.3, 2.5, and 2.5. So we see some smaller ones filling in around those that I called out. That are the smaller ones are mainly in the 1s range. So those aren't big enough to do damage where they are, but it's showing movement. Now in Alaska, we're showing 96 today, and they normally have between 50 and 100 earthquakes a day. That's their average. Here's a 3.0 Kodiak, 2.9 Homer, 3.5 Redoubt Volcano. There's also a sulfur dioxide release going on here and a high methane release. So something's going on with all these volcanoes. I think they're coming back to life. 3.6 Talkeetna, 3.4 Cantwell, and a 2.6 Koktovik. So here you can see how they're spreading out up through the state. So the rest of them are, 2s and under. They're not. Not great big, but little ones lead to larger ones, as we know. Now let's come on down to the lower 48. Down in Oklahoma, we've got 3. 2.1 near Tuttle, 2.0 Medford, and a 1.5 Fairview. Coming on across, here's one right on the Arizona-Utah border, a 1.8. Here's a 1.4 Nephi, Utah. Here's a 0.9 Park Valley. And then coming on up into the Yellowstone area, we're showing 9 here today, including the quarry blast that went off just right on schedule at 12:02. This was a 1.8 magnitude quarry blast at Butte, Montana. So the earthquake makers are back at work since it's Monday. So you'll see blasting and explosions now. So I'll call these off. 1.3 Paris, Idaho. 2.9 up here, South Browning, Montana. This one is at a minus 2.6 kilometer depth, so the epicenter is up in the mountain. 1.5 Lincoln, Montana. 1.6 Victor, Idaho. 2.9 Soda Springs, Idaho. And this one is at a minus 3.5 kilometer depth, so again that's up in the mountain. 0.9 Manhattan, 1.1 Manhattan, and a 1.0 Manhattan. Well, if you hear the jets in the background, I have my window open. I live right under the fly zone for all of the aircraft coming into Reno and taking off, so there you have it. You kind of get used to it after a while. Alright, up here in the northwest, we're seeing 5 here today. Pacific Northwest. Here on the tremor map for yesterday, it's showing 103 tremors. They're centering here on Vancouver Island and to the west of Seattle, and then down here in California. Let's see where this is exactly. Near Red Bluff, California. So we are seeing earthquakes here. Here's a 1.9 magnitude explosion near Granite Falls, Washington at 2:31 this afternoon. So here's a 0.7 near White Center, Washington at 1:45. So we saw that big cluster here to the west of Seattle and here on Vancouver Island. 1.4 Packwood and a 0.6 Yakult. Coming on down into northern California, this is Lake Almanor, which is one of the reservoirs, and there's a dam right down here. It's called Canyon Dam, right down here at the south end of the lake, and all these reservoirs are full. And there was an earthquake just to the east of the southern part of the lake, a 1.2 that came in at 11:35 last night, 6.6 kilometers deep. Coming on down, now Lake Oroville is right down here. And here's one 0.3 near Portola. Then coming on into the Reno area is a 0.1 near Incline Village. And then in Nevada, we'll go into southern Nevada in a minute. we'll just look at all of these right here. There are 11 right here. The biggest one is this 2.5 near Gabbs. Here's a 1.3 magnitude explosion near Tonopah. Here's a couple north of Walker Lake, and here's a couple south of Walker Lake, and another one down here, and just some small ones scattered around. Now let's look at southern Nevada, and we'll catch these two in California here too. Oh, look, here's one right down here, 1.5 near Sandy Valley. So southern Nevada has 15 here. Here's the ones at Alamo today. So it's slowed way down, like a 1.0, 1.7, and so forth. So that's right there at Alamo. And we saw large swarming there the last few days. Here's the Mammoth Lakes area. Now we're moving over to California. That's showing 5 here today. These are small, under 1. And then coming on down, we've got just a few more coming on down through. This is Coso Junction. It's showing like 3 there at Coso Junction here today. So that's slowed down. Here's a 1.1 Mojave, 1.3 Victorville. Now, here's one in Baja, California, 2.0 near Delta. So in Southern California here today, we're showing 133. Now, the big news has been this swarming that's been going on up here at Glen Avon. So let's look at that today. We're showing right now 107 on the map. That's down from yesterday. There was, what, 161 or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. There were so many. So let's see if there are any that are 2.5 magnitude or higher. No, not down there. So these are just small ones, just clustered there. 1s and under. For whatever reason. Weak spot in the earth and there's pressure. This red line is the San Andreas fault line. Let's move on up that now. Here's one to the west, 1.3 near Lake Nacimiento. Here's 3 right here at Colami, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. Here's 1.0 Parkfield, 2.4 New Idria, 0.9 Pinnacles, 1.9 Pinnacles, 0.8 Hollister, 1.8 Aromas. Then we've got 2 here at Hollister, a 0.9 and a 1.4. This is San Luis Reservoir, so those 2 are right next to that lake. That's probably full as well. We'll come back down to the geysers. We've got 3 here. A 1.6 Brook Trails, 1.8 and a 1.8 at Redwood Valley. Then at the geysers, we've got 38 here today. And we saw something. We've got 2 at the geysers that are above 2.5 magnitude, a 3.9 and a 3.5. Most of these are under 1. 1's and under. And there was one right over here to the east, 1.9 near Hidden Valley Lake. So let's back out and see if anything else came in while I was recording and talking. We saw that. And we saw that at the geysers. So I think that's a wrap. So I'm going to go ahead and let everyone go for tonight. And we'll just keep reporting on everything. And we need to stay watchful, because in the end times we need to be watching all the time for what is to come. And I recommend everyone get your spiritual house in order and get right with God and Jesus while you still have time. So until next time, God bless, go in peace, and good night.